Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On today's episode, Aubrey and I are going to go ahead and talk about the top 3 things we're excited to come out with all of the different releases from Ministravaganza. So the things that we're most excited to see. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. Aubrey, how we doing, man?
I'm not gonna lie, everybody. If I sound a little tired, it's because I am. I got in at 2 a.m. this morning, driving back from Nevada. I had some family business to take care of up there for the weekend, and we had to drive straight through. It is for those of you who have never made the trip from Reno to Phoenix, it's like this 12-hour slug, and like two-thirds of it or more, maybe three-quarters, is just empty desert and more empty desert and more empty desert, and then you pass through these mining towns, more empty desert. So I'm here. I'm as excited as I can be after that.
Understandable. Oh yeah, so it's been a crazy weekend for you at least. So I'm glad that you're back. Have you had a chance to get any games in?
I was racking my brain because I do not think, because you had something going on last Wednesday,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure that I never my stepson and I never finished that game we started. I'm actually gonna see if he wants to try and do that after his mom picks him up after this. But no, I was gone from Friday to again this morning, so
Yep.
not a lot of Shatterpoint this week. Didn't he? I'm even behind. I looked at my podcasts and I'm like, oh no, I have like a half a dozen episodes to listen to, and I'm like, all right, we'll get caught up. We'll get caught up.
Yeah,
How
I
about
mean,
you?
not, well, because of like, there's been just so much going on in the MCP world. So there was like, I had I played MCP this weekend. So especially because like they updated 22 new cards and the new core set drops this week for that. So I've been,
Oh.
yeah. So there's a lot going on in the MCP world. I'm super so I was just kind of excited to sit there and play some of that. So didn't get as much in. It just so happened though that when I was at a MCP tournament this past weekend, there was someone else doing a teaching game, so I was able to help out with that a little bit. So helping to grow the community a little bit that way at least. So not, but it was fun. I mean, it's like getting to see the different sides of everything. But yeah, MCP is kind of blowing up. So that was where I was at. I'm like, oh, I want to play some of the new toys over there. So
Hey, that's okay. There are other games. There
yeah.
are other games, and it's all good. I mean, I guess I did do some preparation. We have a new league that just started at one of our LGSs, and so I know I talked to you a little bit about what list I want to play. So I am ready. I've got a couple games scheduled out for the league, so I'm ready to go. I just haven't gone to play yet.
Yeah, it's all right. It'll all work itself out. I'm excited for the league too, because to get out there and try some stuff. I painted up Mother Talzin and in that entire box, so I'm like excited to put that on the battlefield as well. So I know you're wanting to run Talzin, so I'm like, well, I can't run Talzin against you because the mirror just wouldn't be as fun. So
Hey, we could run the mirror. You gotta run the mirror at some point. But I mean, it's a league, right? You can play different
yeah, we can
lists.
mix and match. It's like there's nothing. The lists aren't locked or anything like that, which is nice. So yeah, no, it should be fun. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into this episode here. I know you sent me your ideas of or what your top 3 were, and didn't tell you what my top 3 are at all. So I'm going to completely catch you off guard as we go through this. So
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. All right, I'll give you my best hot takes.
there you go. So well, let's start out with one of yours, and that's Plo Koon Jedi Master. I know you are excited. Just the light side person that you are, always wanted to play that stuff. So I know you're excited for this. What is the exciting part about Plo Koon for you though?
Yeah. I know I talked about this last week. I really just want clones to be good, but I'm excited because one of the things that Galactic Republic is really lacking is in that movement department, right? They you have to they have movement, but you have to jump through these hoops. You have to use Obi-Wan and a hunker token, or you have to pair him up with Padme because for some reason Padme is the most mobile unit in the whole of the Galactic Republic, and it's just tough. And Plo Koon is just really good because it's each character in the chosen unit may advance. And assuming you're moving a trooper or Padawan, which I don't know why you wouldn't with this ability, Plo Koon gets to, or not advance,
Mhm.
dash. Sorry, Plo Koon gets the dash too. So I mean, hopefully, whenever you activating Plo Koon, you get 3 dashes, and that's my word. The rest of the Republic, you have to spend a force to get a dash. I mean, yeah, okay, you get a hunker token, but I mean, the force economy on the Galactic Republic is just so tough, and this guy I think is going to make it just a little bit easier. I mean, even Padme, you have to, her advance ability is great, but you got to spend a force for it. It's not on activation, which I just the way all the other factions work, Todd, I just keep thinking that her ability is on activation, and then I look at it again over and over, and I'm like, oh no, you have to spend a force even for that. Okay, all right. Remind me, how much do you have to spend for Kalani, Todd?
I think it's completely free if I remember correctly. I don't think there's a force cost to it, but because it happens on
Hmm.
activation. But that's
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. But I mean that's the number one thing I'm excited about is just he has great movement. Great movement.
yeah. So that is nice that they're finally getting some. Well, now that we're getting to the end of all of the Galactic Republic characters, you're finally getting some out of it, some free movement there, which is hilarious. But I mean, the one thing, like one of the things that I'm not excited about for him is like it's nice that he has the force push, but coming from playing Asajj from the start, that's you're not going to be getting that for free very often simply because of how far down the tree it is. It's 4 down the tree. So it's a nice ability when you can get it to go off for free, but the whole problem is he's only rolling 7 dice. That's 4 down the tree. It's not going to be very often that happens. His expertise chart overall isn't bad though with that lightsaber on that like on his form 5 side because one's a crit, two's a crit. So I mean it helps out, but I just don't know if you're going to get there with that. I mean, those expertise chart being as good as it is will probably help out some, so that's kind of nice. So maybe he'll hit it a little bit more consistently than Asajj did, but Asajj never hit it. It felt like it was like maybe a 10% chance whenever I would hit it with her.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of the like I put Plo Koon on here because I am excited. I really do want to keep playing Galactic Republic. I was just listening on my way back from the airport because I had to go pick up my car. There's all everything I did this weekend was as complicated as possible. I'm not going to get into it here, but I was listening to I think 2 episodes back of was it Zion's Finest? I'm so tired. I don't even remember who I was just listening to. But they were talking about ranking all of the primaries that we have
That was Zion's
as
finest. Yeah,
as
that was a
of
couple of episodes back
okay,
of theirs.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, I'm behind. I'm behind. But they were talking about why they were ranking different units, and they were talking about Asajj, and that was kind of the problem with Asajj is that she has this good kit, but it costs so much and it's hard to get it for free. And like I'm excited about Plo Koon, but you're probably right. You're probably right. The one thing I will say, something I didn't talk about last week, is I was thinking more about Obi-Wan because I think we've gotten in this trap with Galactic Republic where if you're playing Galactic Republic, you got to play Obi-Wan, and maybe in a premier list where you need the 4 squads, uh, yeah, you're gonna play Obi-Wan. But I was thinking in particular if you pair Plo Koon with Mace Windu you then have Mace Windu's bubble, and then you have the clones getting protected by Plo Koon's ability, where he's giving them his expertise chart, which is better than the clones charts. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I was like, is that gonna be enough? Like, fingers
I mean, it's
crossed.
definitely worth
Fingers
testing.
crossed.
Definitely worth testing. I mean, I
Yeah.
think in a premier list, Plo is going to be one of those top 4 if you're going to go all in on the Galactic Republic strategy. I really think that's probably kind of where you're going to be with the Plo, Obi, Mace, and probably Amidala. I think those are like kind of the 4 primaries that you're starting out with when you're starting to look at your building. We'll see, though. I mean, like I said, I really do. He brings something interesting to the table. Uh, I like that there's the Padawans are actually going to matter here potentially. That you can potentially have a reason to bring Snips, have a reason to bring what's her name? Why am I drawing a blank?
Paris.
Varys. Thank you. I mean, so the two Padawans having their abilities, having the an incentive to bring them is something that I'm looking forward to in that. So I'm excited for that. There's a lot to be excited about to see if this finally is that last piece that was needed to kind of put Galactic Republic where they're just not at the bottom of the meta, so to speak.
Right, right. And the problem, of course, and again, I guess I'm being my own devil's advocate, is we're comparing him to Asajj right now, and Asajj is not that great. Even in like pairing Asajj with Mother Talzin. Like I just played a game. Well, again, I didn't finish it, but started this game with Mother Talzin and Asajj, and I feel like that's maybe the best place to put her. And
And you'd
just
still
felt a
rather
little
just play Maul
lackluster.
there, you know. It's like, oh, I have a better option in Maul. Why am I going to play a Sarge type of a thing? And that's kind of where you're going with
Right.
that. Is like, is he going to be that? Oh, well, there's better options in playing Plo. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can. He's going to be that one that slots in and kind of gives you some fun because I really like Plo as a character anyway.
Yes, yes. Oh, and again, all three of my characters, everybody, there's at least like a 25-30% chance that the reason I picked him is I just like the flavor. Like the abilities feel like the characters.
Yes.
Like Plo feels like we're in this together. I'm gonna protect my troops and my Padawans and take care of everybody. Like flavor win, knock it out of the park.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, my first one that I was going to bring up that I'm excited for is the mission pack because I don't I am excited just to have something new to sit there and play with because these mission packs have been kind of crazy. I'm been wanting something new, and like in all honesty, like talking with some of the people, even just at our LGS, they're really done playing this game right now just because as they've been playing the same mission for what 4 or 5 months now and they're kind of over it. They're like, okay, it feels like it's gotten kind of stale. They're ready to do something else, play something else, and they've moved away from the game for the time being, not like long term or anything like that, but I think we've been needing the next mission pack. And this one, I mean, the mission pack overall looks exciting here. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more compact. There's going to be a little more fighting going on. That extra ability, that the on activation abilities that we're going to get on each individual card looks really cool. So it looks like there's just going to spice up the game a little bit, give it a little, breathe a little bit more life back into the game type of a thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. As soon as we get and again, I'm going ahead of what just got spoiled. But as soon as we get our next mission pack,
Mm-hmm.
then I think there's going to be a lot less uh, staleness, maybe
Yeah.
to the objective placement and having to fight over these objectives. I wouldn't say that the meta is solved right now, but it's definitely getting close. I mean, it's really hard to justify not just playing Vader Grievous beatdown, and we know where the objectives are, and we know that Jango Fett's gonna take care, and OB2 are gonna take care of objectives. It's yeah, we need something else.
Yeah. No, so that's what I'm excited about. Is that I mean, once even like you said, once we get that third mission pack, hopefully it won't take another 4 months to get it. But once we get the new mission pack, I think that will also help out. Like I was saying, I think that's there's some people that are getting a little that were getting making it feel stale. But I think part of that also has to do with if you're playing the same lists over and over again. I mean, one thing with you and I is we change up what we play. Like we're not playing the same list over and over again. It's like, oh, I want to try this because just to play something for fun. I mean, if you're looking at the competitive side of it and you're just trying to win every match, yeah, playing Vader Grievous is gonna and playing the same mission pack over and over again is gonna get pretty boring. But if you're actually just trying to play the game and trying something new and see and try and solve a new puzzle and see if like, oh, what if I try this secondary with this primary, then the game's not going to isn't going to be as boring or isn't going to be as stale. So I think that has something to do with it there too. Is that try a little variety in your life.
Oh yeah. No, and I know that there's something to be said for playing the same list and getting familiar with your units, with their activations, and if you're preparing for a highly competitive event, absolutely. I'm not saying that's not important, but I mean, just listening to Zion's Finest on the way home, they were talking about how Dooku works very well in so many different scenarios and with so many different lists. And one of the things they brought up that didn't even occur to me was a Dooku Anakin list.
Mm-hmm.
And they were and they only touched on it for like a second and then kept going because that wasn't really the point of what they were talking about. But I got distracted because I was like, "Oh, wait, what would that look like?" Because
Yeah.
you kind of want Galactic Republic for Anakin's abilities, but Anakin and Dooku, like Dooku can feed Anakin's double tap ability. And I was like, "Oh," and and that's something that we've had since the beginning, basically.
Yep.
And it just occurred to me to try that. I mean, there's so many combinations of things that if you're willing to lose a few games to learn something, then there's a lot more sandbox to explore here. You just got to be willing to take a beating.
Yeah, and and the other piece of it is like there's not a highly competitive event coming up anytime soon. Where like LVO's probably like the biggest event that's going to have a Shatterpoint thing going on, and it's just going to be a casual after hours type of thing anyway. So it's like have fun with the game right now. We'll get to that point where that competitive like meta starts like breaking down, and like maybe there will be world championships. Who knows? But it's like we're not there yet. Let's just have fun with the game.
Right, right. This is actually a part of why I finally decided to dip my toes in the tabletop gaming is that I wasn't trying to dive into a highly competitive meta because you've talked to me about MCP before, but the game's been going for 3 years. A lot of what's in it is known. A lot of the best things to do, I'm sure, are known.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be somewhere where I could explore.
Yeah.
Where no one knows what's the best thing, and showing up with anything on the table is still reasonable. You know how it is when in Magic we talk about him as janky brews. There's always that player that shows up with the janky brew, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and all the competitive players are like, yeah, okay, we see what you're doing, whatever. I didn't want that. I wanted to be in a game where we could just have fun for a little bit, and then we can start talking about the competitive side.
Yep. No, and I think we'll get there. Well, I mean, like I said, I like where we're at. I think the game's growing just fine, so I'm happy with it. But that was my first one that I was excited about. So your second one though was Leia Organa Bosch. I know you were excited about her too. I mean, and I'm pretty excited. One, just for the models, the way that they're going to be very able to be individually modified to your own liking, with or without the helmet, with or without the thermal detonator. I think they're really cool there. What's exciting you? What are you excited about when it comes to this?
So this kind of harkens back to a Legends novel called Shadows of the Empire, and there was a video game back on the was it on the 64? I think it was on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
ooh,
our Gen X is showing right now.
Ooh, right. So I was really happy to see that they didn't just give us Slave Leia. Like I know, we all know what we want, but I like this because you get to see more of the aspect of, she's a spy, she's going undercover, she's also pretending to be a bounty hunter, and that's actually in that novel. That's how she infiltrates Black Sun, and that's part of that whole storyline. She doesn't just use this costume one time and done. Leia, and I don't know if this has happened in canon. There are gaps in my knowledge of the new Disney canon, but I just like that they decided to give us this specific Leia. Again, I've talked about these are snapshots, moments in time, and I just the abilities feel like it's Leia pretending to be a bounty hunter and nailing the role.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm trying to remember this novel. Is this the one where like it actually like she created that character for this purpose, and it was like the first time she donned the the particular persona of that bounty hunter and everything like that. Is that what that happened in that novel? Because I'm trying to remember if that's the one that I remember or not.
Yeah. So what it was is that obviously Leia is a war criminal and she needed to go to Coruscant. Well, how do you get Princess Leia Organa of House Alderaan, a war criminal terrorist insurgent, onto Coruscant to meet with this head of Black Sun? What was his name? Zyzer? It was
Something like that.
something odd like that. The Falines, Black Sun, and so that's what. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a long time since I read the novel, and I might be getting some of the details wrong, but if I remember correctly, the Black Sun is what gives her this outfit, and she has to like play the role, and it's cool that you can get to look at this card and it feels like Leia being a bounty hunter. It's not just Leia being Leia.
Yeah. It's not the helpless princess or the slave Leia. Where it's an interesting card, and I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's gonna be interesting. I know it doesn't really touch a lot on the rebels or the rebel alliance key tags or anything like that. It really only addresses the spy piece of it, so we don't really know what we're getting still for like the big picture of the rebel alliance big picture or anything like that. But it is pretty cool, and I do like it. I mean, and she does have that bounty hunter tag too, which is pretty interesting with this particular card. So there's a lot of really cool things that come with this, and like this I think going to be a lot of future development where this character and this model might be developed, be able to be utilized more, just because again that scoundrel tag, bounty hunter tag, spy tag, there's some interesting tags that can potentially add to more with this particular character.
Yeah, and that's the other thing why I picked her as one of my top ones is this does not feel like it's slotted into a particular list. Like C-3PO and R2 look cool, they look like they're gonna be fun, but are you gonna really play them with anything besides a bunch of Ewoks, little teddy bears running around? Probably not. Which is good and bad. That's not saying it's terrible. But what I like about this Leia is that she's not embarrassing in just about any list that I can think of. She's got, a reposition on activation, and it can just be on herself, which I can't imagine is a bad thing. But you even have the extra synergy of potentially another spy character. I like that low blow, even though it is a little bit narrow because you have to be engaged with an enemy character, but low blow just feels so strong. It's almost better than the force push that we've seen, because you can move someone off a point and follow them and make a focus action. And if you do this all right, you're going to be taking control of an objective, attacking them with extra dice, and like it's just controlling and offensive at the same time. Yeah, it costs 2 force, and yeah, she's a secondary, so maybe she can't do as much damage. But I mean, I would almost spend 2 force just for the push,
Yeah.
and instead you also get to make a focus action and probably attack.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
And if you're taking her in the
Please.
box that she's come with, the primary that she comes with, I mean, you're getting a force refresh with that primary. So it's like spending 2 force with her isn't going to be as hurtful, I guess, as far, it's not gonna really mess with your force economy that much if you have Luke with him, just because of that refresh that he has on activation. So I think it'll be interesting to see where she plays in, and like we haven't even seen her stance card yet either, so we don't know how that looks. But overall, I mean, her abilities, she looks pretty fun to play. She looks like she's gonna be a fun one to put on the board.
Oh, yeah. And even though I feel like Fearless and Inventive and 50,000 No Less is maybe not as strong because it puts a little too much agency in your opponent's hands, uh, but they're not terrible. I'm sure there's going to be scenarios where that's going to be the deciding factor of you either taxed your opponent or put them in a bad position, and it just feels good. This feels like Leia has snuck into Jabba's palace and she's doing as much disruption as possible, and soften him up before Luke arrives.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Makes sense. So my next one, and again, this is all going to be really kind of just. This is far, far in the future. So not a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but a long time from now, it'll be actually getting played. Is the Bad Batch. I'm super excited for whenever we get them because I love Wrecker because he's just a big dummy that wants to break things, and he's like he's my spirit animal. Wrecker really is my spirit animal. So that's what I'm super excited for as far as in the future coming is that the Bad Batch because I can watch that. I think I've watched that cartoon probably like twice through already now just because it's like I'm so into that lore of them, like the misfits and not quite right in the head, just defective clones that are also badasses. I'm all about it. And like, so I'm really excited to sit there and see how they integrate into the game.
Right, right. What I'm really hoping for. I know that their cards and everything are probably set in stone. So AMG, I'm sorry if you didn't use my amazing idea here, but listen to the other stuff we're saying. Give us that third mission pack sooner rather than later. But what I'm hoping is that they're like Vader, where you can play them in both Galactic Republic and what is it, Rise of the Empire or. Whatever Vader's tags are, I want them to be dual role because I think it would be cool if they should be good. Like this is me just thinking in both Galactic Republic and Empire because there was that brief, tiny window where they were doing stuff with the Empire and then they were gone because it's the Empire, but. I just feel like it would be cool if they could straddle that fence. Because I'm sorry, if Darth Vader in his armor can be Galactic Republic and Empire, come on, give me both. Come on. But I really just hope that there's some trooper synergies, and I'm kind of hoping. Like I know I was just talking about Plo Koon being my last hope for Galactic Republic, but if he doesn't work out. Oh, the Bad Batch has got to be good, right? They've got to be
You
good.
would think so.
Like these. If nothing else, if Wolfpack fails me, the Bad Batch better be good clones. Like Wrecker's got to be a melee clone, right?
You would think
I mean,
so.
come on.
I mean, just going in there, just destroying everything, or it's like I don't know, but that's what I'm super excited for. Like, I'm really looking forward to how they're going to develop these guys and what they're going to bring to us. Well, let's finish out your last hype that you're excited for, and of course, got to finish out with like. You had one of the siblings, so let's bring the other twin, and that's Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. So what's exciting about him for you? What are you most excited about with Luke here?
Okay, so again, to just keep stealing stuff from other people's podcasts, I believe this was, was it Rogue Support? I don't remember, but they encapsulated something that I was really liking about Luke, but I couldn't put it to words, and that's that Luke feels like he can just operate by himself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Rebel Alliance, you get the sense that there's going to be a lot of synergies between them. Like if it's going to be anything like our Murder Bears, it looks like the Rebel Alliance is going to be we're going to join forces and go. And maybe that's just a hot take. Maybe I'm misreading them entirely, but that's kind of what it feels like it's going to be to me. And I like that Luke is just doing his own thing. He's a beater. He's refreshing force. He's just good all around. Like he is the last of the Jedi, asterisk Yoda.
Yeah. Right.
And so it just I like the flavor of the card. I like that they managed to capture both. I really feel of Return of the Jedi is almost two movies, right? Like you have the Jabba's palace half, and you have the second Death Star half, and there's a very strong cutoff between those two parts of the movie, and they managed to nail both with this character. Like if I feel like okay, we're at Jabba's palace, okay, now we're taking on the Emperor, let's go.
Yeah, no, they did do very well with this one, and I know that on Zion's Finest, they did end up talking about him on their most recent podcast, which you haven't had a chance to listen to. And they did kind of go into the fact that he has like the two different defensive abilities with the deflect and I will not fight. I will not fight you. So it's like that he has can defend against ranged and melee attacks. So it's like that he's got that multiple thing going on there, which makes it really interesting. Something that hasn't been seen before, where it's like you can defend against both of those types of attacks. So normally it's been one or the other. So it's really cool that that he has that ability to just kind of protect himself in multiple ways.
Yeah, yeah. I at first was really surprised by both Luke and Vader in these spoilers because I was like, wait, three force? Like what? This is the chosen one and the son of the chosen one. But then you read their on activation and you realize, oh no, I think this might end up being even more than for force
Yeah.
because say you activate Luke, then you Shatterpoint, maybe you Shatterpoint Luke, then you're probably, hopefully, you're planning on activating him in, the second shuffle of your deck, and then you've gotten maybe three extra force because of how his ability works. I'm like, okay, that's punching up quite a bit, and then I love the you can either profit by this or be destroyed because yes, it gives your opponent the decision, but I mean he hits pretty hard on a five dice attack. If you can dash towards somebody and they're like, no, I'm staying on this point, cool, I'm gonna five dice attack you, and then I'm gonna attack you with all the rest of my dice. Oh, and by the way, only two successes down my form five side gives me five damage, so I have a feeling I'm probably wounding whatever I'm throwing dice at unless things go completely sideways.
Yeah. No, he definitely can hit pretty hard, and like at least he's I wouldn't say hit hard, but he can definitely do the chip damage that he needs to. I mean, he's somebody that like, and if you're especially if you're getting two attacks out of it, okay, you use that activated ability, end up getting two successes, do five damage. Now you do an eight dice attack into it after that, maybe get another six damage off of that on top of it, along with like a reposition or something. It's like, okay, well, you just did 11 damage right there between those two attacks on that one activation. So I think he's gonna be able to take people out pretty easily without like having to go like too like without having to go too crazy with it. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays out though once we can actually get him on the table, and hopefully like but not soon after the first of the year we'll get that. I know AMG, it feels like we're not getting a lot in the way of Shatterpoint, and I think that has to do with the MCP side of things. With like I said, they just did all of the new cards that they just did, like 22 new character cards, and on top of that, then they have the core box coming out. So I think they're kind of in MCP mode right now. So we'll start seeing everything here pretty soon, though. So I'm yeah super excited about it. I mean, but going back like to that later like that way of thinking, one of the things that I'm really excited about is the fact that AMG did go and do that 22 cards on the MCP side, and they refresh those because although a lot of people are unhappy with the way clones are, and I think and wanting them to be better, and I think that's something to keep in mind is AMG's willing to go back and rework character cards that from the past to sit there and make them viable in that present time frame. It might not be for a year or so that they do that, but know that they are aware of that. They're going to make those changes, and they might just do a complete overhaul on a lot of the different Galactic Civil War era or Galactic Republic or era type of characters, and make them better.
Right, right. And that's why I'm like, don't give up. Just because the Galactic Republic isn't great right now. I mean, that is okay. We we just gotta wait and see how everything turns out. I mean, there's also just the possibility that, some of these new boxes, Plo Koon and Bad Batch, are going to make us wish that the Galactic Republic was still bad shortly.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
never know.
I don't know. There's still so much space to be explored here, and I mean, again, I really want my third mission pack, so we've got rock paper scissors at least going on out here, and I think there's a lot of space to grow.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I'm like I said, I'm pretty excited about it, but I want to jump into my last one because I'm saving the best for last because I want to talk about Darth Vader, the Emperor's servant, because we know he's.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling that might be the last one. Okay, okay.
But no, I'm super excited about him too. I mean, again, he has that same ability we were just talking about, where basically on activation he's able to refresh his force. Really, just overall, I mean, a pretty cool character. I think he's not as oppressive as the Vader that we have now. He's more of a little bit more nuanced than the Vader that we have been seeing, just kind of dominating the Shatterpoint world right now. But I'm excited for something a little bit different, a different take on Vader. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on him?
Oh yeah, I pretty much agree. It definitely feels like I hate to put it this way, but it feels like this is a fixed Vader. Like if I was gonna fix the insanity that is Jedi Hunter and make him a little more synergistic, like this guy cares more about, Galactic Republic instead of just every melee character in
Yeah.
existence. He has that anger, hate, aggression. That's good movement, and then he adds 3 dice to his next attack roll. And there's even something that punishes you if you roll too much dice because you're probably going to get a failure in there, and he gets exposed. Like, can you imagine if Jedi Hunter made them exposed after every attack instead of just like a couple of damage that I can heal off?
Yeah.
Like now that'd be very high risk, high reward. I almost feel like exposed might have been more dangerous than any damage,
Yeah.
and so it feels like this Vader is what we're gonna want to play with. Like you're gonna be happy to play with or against this Vader, whereas right now the people playing Jedi Hunter are like, yeah, I know I'm bringing Vader Grievous again, and your opponent's like, yeah, you're playing Vader Grievous again. Like instead, this Vader's cool.
Yeah, you don't have the feel bads that come with this. I mean, it's there's some powerful things that you can do, like you were saying. The unwise to lower your aggression is a really nice reactive ability as well, with basically just being able to do that additional damage. So I think it's like you were saying. This is the fixed Vader. This is the Vader that probably would have should have had from the start because of this how like how in some ways I don't think Vader's broken, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, Vader's broken, he's so busted, he just ruins the game, this, that, and the other. And I think it's a nice puzzle to sit there and try and find different ways to sit there and deal with him and fight against him. But yeah, this is a more balanced Vader, I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah, and again, it's still really cool. I mean, the you cannot hide forever, potentially getting extra activations of your, probably one of your best primaries if you're playing Galactic Republic. Like this is still a very good character without being broken, and you might like. I love one of the other podcasts. I'm just gonna keep having this in my head. There's this world where you just keep flipping Vader, flipping Vader, flipping Vader because he's the last card in your deck. I know that we don't have his stance tree yet, so we don't know like what kind of conditions are on there, or is there a way to just say I'm gonna stop here on my tree so that I can just keep activating Vader? Because can you
Yeah.
imagine you just keep dashing with him and refreshing force and dashing with him and refreshing force. Like you got a pinball machine of Vader moving around the table.
Yeah, no, I can see it. I mean, but I mean, and keep in mind, you can stop your tree at any point in time. You don't have to sit there and do it. So, like you were saying, you can definitely go, oh, well, you know what? I'm only going to do 6 damage, and I know I'll leave you on one with that 7, and oh, no, he's going to go back into my deck. So, yeah, I think, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. It'd be hilarious to see it happen over and over, but I don't know if it's like, I'm just going to infinitely activate Vader. It's like, that would be funny to watch. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's the right thing to do, but it'd be entertaining for sure.
Right, right. Do I think this is the right call? No. Do I want to see Vader whack-a-mole? Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, I'm like I said, overall, I think, there's some really cool things on the horizon coming. I think we're going to be excited to sit there and see all of these different things that are going on. I mean, like I said, it's Bad Batch looks cool. The new mission pack, Vader definitely looks like he's going to be fun. And then of course, like Luke, Leia, and Plo are all exciting different characters that we're going to sit there and be able to play around with in the coming days, and hopefully we'll find out pretty soon when we're going to be getting like the Plo box, because it's like I'm hoping that it's going to be something towards the end of this, before the end of the year we end up getting that. It's like one of maybe the last close out the year with Plo and maybe Hondo or something like that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I definitely feel like, because we don't have anything really new for the holidays unless you count the mission pack, but I feel like everybody's buying the mission pack day one, like,
Yeah.
please. Uh, and yeah, I feel like they got to give us something for the holidays. I mean, what else are our partners gonna buy us? Come on, socks?
No, we
No.
want toys. We want little army people and to paint up and roll around on a 3x3 piece of cloth. That's what we want.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that covered about everything that we wanted to talk about today. I know. Let's let you get to some rest from your excursion and craziness that you had going on over this past couple of days. So before we close out, I do want to thank everyone for listening. Please rate, review the podcast on whichever platform you use to sit there and listen to us on. If you're watching us on YouTube, again, like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you can see anytime new content comes out. Other than that, thanks again for listening, and may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.